Hey everybody, it's Cyborg. I'm joined by Temp. We have issue number 8 this time of year 3, so if you haven't checked out the previous ones, definitely go do so. Don't get spoiled. It's been fantastic up to this point, so let's jump right into this. Alright guys, so we have, this time, it looks like maybe another dream? But this time it looks like it's coming from somebody else, because it starts off with Superman talking to Wonder Woman, as we find out, because you're not really sure at first whether he's talking to Lois or Wonder Woman. And she's shot from the back, so I think it's intentionally done as such. And he's talking about, you know, how it's beautiful art right here, by the way, with the sun at least. I mean, his face kind of looks kind of silly, but the sunset and everything looks really, really well drawn and colored. But yeah, so he's talking about how he wished other people could see the sun because it's so beautiful. Pictures can't do it justice. And then we see Wonder Woman, and so they're kind of talking back and forth, and she says, you know, look, I know I'll never replace Lois, but I can be whoever you need me to be, just ask. And he says, I want you to stay with me, and she says, I'm not going anywhere. So they have a nice little cute moment, and they go to kiss, and Wonder Woman wakes up from her dream. It was all a dream. And yeah, so I guess we're getting finally the return of Wonder Woman. She's being woken up by Ares, no less. So it's her mom and Ares standing at her bedside. And it looks like Ares helped her out and dispelled the magic that was keeping her asleep. And Wonder Woman was asking how this was done, because I guess they had Hera help them out. And she said at what cost, but her mother would not answer, and she just walked away. So we're not really sure what exact deal that they made, but yeah. And Wonder Woman and Ares kind of getting a little tiffy, as they usually will, but they go to find Superman. Meanwhile, we cut back to the Tower of Fate. Batman and Constantine are talking, and they have a nice little back and forth between them. Constantine's comparing the two of them, and Batman essentially says, you know, it's over. Superman isn't just down, he's out, but we need to act. So he's trying to recruit more people and get people ready. So he kind of is, I guess he's giving a speech to Flash, Cyborg, Damian, so you see, and Raven. So he's given the speech to them, trying to turn them to his side, but we only really see the reaction from Damian, and he just says, screw you. So, no shocker there.
Which is nice, yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Wonder Woman and Ares make their way back to the Hall of Justice. She sees Hal immediately, and wondering why he's yellow, and then wonder why Superman's wearing a yellow lantern ring, why Sinestro's there, and everything that's... She's just shocked by all of this going on, and why he's sleeping, and she immediately freaks out and starts attacking Sinestro. Because, yeah, she thinks he's essentially controlling Superman, or what the heck is going on.
Yeah, he is.
Well, yeah, he is. I mean, she's completely right. And it's not like, how dare such an evil person control Superman? I think she's just jealous because somebody else is playing those strings. She wants to be the only puppet master.
Yeah, they're all grimy now. So.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a fight for control there, seemingly, between Diana with Sinestro. So she continues on. We continue on with the next chapter. Ares throws Hal to the side, telling him not to interfere. And she basically dominates Sinestro until she gets distracted with Ares doing what he did. Sinestro makes a bit of a comeback. Captain Marvel stops in for a huh face. He's just like, what? What's going on in here, guys? I don't know. He looks a little goofy there. And, yeah. So they keep fighting. Sinestro and Wonder Woman go back and forth, destroying things. All of a sudden, she's just beating him, like beating his face in, and all of a sudden we hear somebody call out to her to stop, and Superman has awoken, or awoke, as he's given a monologue about how when he was a kid, he never used to be able to sleep. He would just fake it, and then when his parents would go to sleep, he would go on the roof and, you know, just protect the house, because he knew there was evil out there. And that now, once he found love, he is able to sleep, but he still doesn't want to because there's evil out there. So he finally does get a peaceful rest or whatever. But now he's finally started to dream as well. So he kind of goes over that, explaining just kind of how things work for him over his life in terms of sleep and dreams, in case you're wondering how that works for Superman.
I never knew that.
It was
I
a hot
was not aware of
topic.
that.
Yeah, I'm sure. And so, yeah, so now he stops her from fighting Sinestro any longer and tells her that Sinestro is with him, that they're working together. And then she points out, why are you wearing his ring? And that it's about fear and that we don't operate like that, which is a little odd because you kind of felt like Wonder Woman wanted people to fear them, but maybe her sleep caused her to be a little bit change her tune. I have no idea, but it seemed a little odd because this is the lady that was completely okay with picking up Atlantis and putting it in the middle of the Sahara Desert. For as like a fear tactic, intimidation tactic.
Yeah, she blackmailed Aquaman on the basis of genocide. So she made a career out of coercion.
So who knows what that's all about? So that's a little bit of inconsistency, but so she's not cool with the Yellow Lantern thing, and maybe this is just their way of explaining why he doesn't have it in the game. So maybe this is like a forced way of being like, hey, who else was gonna get the ring from Superman? Like, other than, his love interest not being cool with it. It's like, oh, you're smoking now? Like, no, you're not smoking. Put that shit out. So it's kind of like that. Like, you can't have this ring. So he does give up the ring, though, and she destroys it in her hand, or it's seemingly so. We don't really see, but...
I was hoping it'd be something more interesting than this. I was hoping like Constantine would do something where he couldn't be a Lantern Corps anymore.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, like Superman's already fucking like S tier.
Yeah, he's super powerful.
You engine that with the power of all the fear in the world? Like he's basically like unstoppable. It's crazy, honestly.
Yeah. So they had to find some reason to get that ring off of him. So I guess this will do. So everything's cool between all of them now. They work out their differences, and Superman explains how much it hurt to dream about what would have happened, and now he got to see like firsthand what he is missing now, and it hurts. I can relate to that. I've had dreams of things that I did, like dogs that had passed away and stuff like that, and those they're nice while you're dreaming. You're like, oh, blah blah blah, they're alive, and I get it. And then when you wake up, you're like, oh, so. I'm sure everybody's had dreams like that about family members, dogs, girlfriends, whatever. Any little thing like that where you're like, was a traumatic event for you emotionally. I'm sure at one point you've had a dream after the fact that kind of like played with those emotions, and when you wake up, you're like, oh, well, that sucks. And then you eventually get over it.
One especially. I've had a lot of cats in the past who unfortunately are no longer with us, and I'll have a dream and I'll run into the cat in my house, and be like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. You're still alive. Then I wake up and no cat.
Yeah, I've had that a few times over the years about my dog as well. So it is unfortunate. So we can kind of relate to Superman in that regard. We could understand why that must hurt for him, and it's essentially reopening that wound. It's not real, but it's essentially pouring a little, like rubbing in that wound a little bit. So. Spectre comes in and breaks things up, and he says he's figured out where Flash, Robin, Cyborg, and Raven are at. Actually, he says Flash, Robin, and Cyborg. I found them. So maybe he doesn't know Raven's there, but he knows where... we assume they're all in the same location, but yeah. So he says he knows where they're at, and they're at the Tower of Fate. He can't go inside the Tower of Fate because it's protected, but he can at least get them there. And... they're going to go right now. So he doesn't want to wait at all. They're all ready to go. And even if Spectre can't go inside, they have Hal, Sinestro, Captain Marvel, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Ares.
Dude, I was laughing so hard at that. Ares just jumps on the Superman train.
Yeah.
Like he's suddenly Team Superman.
Yeah, he's like, yeah! He's even like punching forward like he's happy. I'm just happy to be included. So we flash to the Tower of Fate. Constantine and Batman are like planning. They're getting all ready to get recruits and stuff, and then all of a sudden, now I think we both interpret this the same, but all of a sudden we see cough, like half.
No, I missed that actually.
That has to be what that is. Okay, so if you find
Yeah.
the panels again where Fate's about to show up, so Constantine and Batman are planning, and you see the word bubbles, and then you see written out in yellow, like white text with yellow outline, which is obviously the Fate colors his speech bubbles are. It says cough, cough, like sound effects,
Yeah.
cough, cough, and I took that as like Fate as a callback to
Yes.
Fate now coughing before he speaks, like to interrupt them. So I think that's what they did here because I don't know what other sound effects it would make when
No,
he
no, that's
teleports
absolutely
in.
what they did here. I just didn't see it before.
Okay, so now he's doing the coughing thing, so Constantine will be happy, and he immediately says Superman is coming. But Constantine's like starts freaking out. Bloody hell! Again? So I don't know if he's saying again that Superman's coming, or again that Dr. Fate interrupted them like out of nowhere. But he coughed. I was really hoping they'd mention like, hey, like I wish Fate was like, hey, I coughed. But I mean, it's kind of like a shit your pants moment, so I don't think there's really it fits there. But yeah. And then Batman says, how much time do we have before Superman arrives? And Dr. Fate says, they're here. Except he doesn't say it like that. He just says it in all badass, they're here. Straight face, they're here. All of a sudden, shit hits the fan. A big explosion happens. Everything's flying. The goblet's going over here. The chalice over there. Everything's going crazy. And we see shadows, like the silhouettes of them walking through the wall, or walking in through the giant hole that they made in the wall, not walking through the wall, I should say. It's not Superman just like doing a straight walk like he did in his dream through the glass window. And we close off on a cliffhanger of Spectre outside, overlooking everything, and then the rest of them just looking in like a badass, we're gonna mess you up pose.
Fucking Ares. Ares is like, let's do this,
Yeah,
guys.
he's got his arms crossed, like, what's up? And yeah, we just see Batman and Constantine's silhouettes. So honestly, they could just outright die on the spot right there, as far as we know. Like, they're in way over their head. Granted, there is Dr. Fate there, and we could finally see him in the scuffle, which I'm excited for. So this is a fun cliffhanger. Overall, the issue was probably the weakest one of year 3. I think that's probably fair to say. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot going on here. It was, hey, Wonder Woman's back in the fold. Let's get her caught up to speed. Oh, now they know where people are being hidden. Shit hits the fan. All right, now something's going to get crazy next issue. So next issue will probably be all action. So this one was kind of the setting everything up. So yeah, this was, I mean, it wasn't a bad issue, but yeah, this was, by comparison to what we've been getting, all 7 of the previous issues have been very well done. This one was just more setting up to the next one.
Well, I would say 3 things, but one of them I already mentioned, which is I didn't like how they resolved the Sinestro Corps Superman. I thought that was kind of rushed.
Yeah.
Not terribly creative. I think they could have done way better. But before I even go into the story, my God, the art fucking free fell in this issue.
Yeah,
it is so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst art in the comic by any means. Or not, this...
I don't know, man. It's
the series?
hard, dude.
You think the entire series has never looked worse than this?
I think, like, the previous art, even though it may have technically been worse, it almost was, context fitting. But just look at the first, not the second time you see the Superman lineup, but see the first time the Spectre is teleporting them?
Yeah.
Just look at this shit. Like, fucking Hal looks like John Ritter. Sinestro looks like a 12-year-old Asian boy. Fucking Superman looks like Shazam, like they changed faces in one of the earlier panels when Superman's grabbing Wonder Woman's fist, and he's looking up for no reason. Why is he not looking down at fucking Wonder Woman? Yeah, Sinestro just got shit on in this issue in terms of the art. Like, and honestly, like, I think Ares kind of carried this issue. Like, I really enjoyed Ares in this issue, but everyone else I feel like just wasn't really carrying their weight.
Yeah. When you say Hal looks like John Ritter, I can kind of see that. I see more Hal as, I don't know the actor's name, but it's the guy that plays the brother in Step Brothers. I'm not talking
John C. Reilly?
No. Not John C. Reilly or Will Ferrell. It's
the asshole brother.
Yeah, it's the asshole brother of, I think, Derek or whatever. is
Oh, I
the
can't.
character's name, but yeah,
He's
it's
also the
Will
main
Ferrell's
character in
brother.
Krampus. Yeah, that guy's real. I actually really
Interesting.
like that actor.
But yeah, that's who I
Yeah.
think of when I look at his face. Like,
Yeah,
his face looks like that guy.
well, he's super scrawny too, and what the fuck is Sinestro even doing there? Like, it's not to mention, fucking Doctor Fate got the Liefeld treatment like hard in the next page.
Got the what?
The Liefeld treatment, like, look how wide his chest is. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, he
like
looked,
he is
yeah.
roided up hard
Yeah,
there.
I did notice that he looked very bulky. I'm like, please do not have that in the game. Like, Doctor Fate usually looks like he looks muscular, but he's kind of like toned muscular. He's not like
Yeah,
beef and bulky like, Dark Knight Returns Batman bulky or anything like that. No, he's usually relatively average in that regard. So
yeah, his gold belt looks like it's about to break.
yeah,
He's
he looks
fucking
like Bane. He looks like Bane in a Doctor Fate outfit. Like he's in disguise.
I will say this: if we see a reveal trailer for fucking Doctor Fate, and he's all like buffed out, I would I wouldn't even be mad. I would be laughing my
I would
ass
be
off.
mad. I would be like, "This is the fate we're getting." Like, gear can change things, but it can never seemingly go down in size. So it's, I would rather fate be like a stick figure, and then we can build up from that, than be this big hulking Bane-like figure, and then we're just stuck with that. Like that's. At least the stick
Oh.
figure could put on like another person's bodysuit or something like.
I don't know. The art, I mean, that's just what I remember. There were other instances too, but man, the art took a dive. The other thing I wanted to go over was just Ares. I think Ares was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just everything felt so rushed. Superman just fucking fell asleep. Like
He just fell asleep.
Literally just fell asleep.
Yeah, there was three things that, or no, there's four things that really felt rushed here. It was Wonder Woman waking up. Not that that's rushed because she's been asleep for forever, but there was no like real build up to it. It just sort of like boom, she's awake. Like it just kind of happened, and that's that. Like I don't know. I guess I expected more of a panel by panel build up to her, them figuring out how to wake her up, and then that's like a huge deal. More is just like, oh, she's awake now. Let's bring her back to speed. Like, there was,
Yeah, well, I don't know, dude. Even in the prophecy, it was the Empress awakens,
Yeah.
the Emperor goes to sleep.
yeah,
So, not really. It looks like the Emperor kind of went to sleep, and then woke up. I don't
he had
know.
he had a nap.
Yeah.
It was more as he just had a nap. So that felt rushed. Yeah, the Superman waking up after one issue was seemingly rushed because what was the point of that? What did they actually accomplish while he was asleep? We don't really know. I mean, yeah, I thought they said at some point that they accomplished so many things, like they restored the world. Who knows? But yeah, we haven't seen anything that's been done since he's been put to sleep. So that seemed very rushed. The Yellow Lantern ring felt rushed, like getting taken off of Superman. And because it was just done in like 4 panels. Like one of them was like, no, you're changing before we go to the dinner. No, like
Yeah.
it was just that simple. There was no like fight about it. There was no incredible reasoning. It's just, oh, we're not about fear. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense, but okay. And then the fourth thing was, oh yeah, I know where the Tower of Fate is, or I know where they're all being held. They're at the Tower of Fate. Let's go.
I forgot about that. Damn.
So it was just like out of nowhere. Spectre's like, yep, I know where they're all at. Let's go. Like, we got them.
Yeah, it's almost like someone upstairs at the DC offices was like, "How's that year 3 going? Are you done with year 3 yet?"
Yeah, like we need to wrap this up quick. Like, oh shit, I guess I just gotta push all these things up real quick.
Are you still working on year fucking 3? How hard is your fucking job? Like that's the kind of what I'm feeling is what happened here. Like this is, we know everyone involved is talented, but someone like just ripped a page out of the calendar and said, "Get done now." Yeah, like that's.
Yes. So all those felt rushed to me, but yeah, I'm just looking forward to where's the payoff here, and I expect nothing but a good payoff coming out of this year. So, and we got a few issues left to go, but we are getting close to that end point. So I'm curious to see how this all pans out, because if it's anything close to year 2 and year 1's finales, then I'm going to be happy. But without further ado, yeah, there wasn't much else to discuss about this issue. We kind of covered all the main points. let's move on to the next one. See you guys later. See you tomorrow. You guys have a good one.
Peace.